how are the water levels looking in your local lake or dam or creek this summer? I wonder if the birds are still flocking in numbers or if there are turtles nesting. Is the water level looking a little low and sludgy? Maybe it's getting a bit smelly. 1300 222 720. Dam reports, send them in. Locals in the Perth suburb of Woodlands say their local spot, Jackadder Lake, is nearly dry. They want urgent action to top up the water levels and preserve the wildlife habitat hotspot. Elizabeth Ray is the local councillor for the City of Stirling. She's been advocating strongly on this issue. Good afternoon, Elizabeth.
Good afternoon. I hope you are well and thank you for your interest in our local community issues.
You're welcome. Can you paint a picture of the current situation? How low is Jackadder Lake?
Well, residents, long-term residents, I've only lived there since the 70s, but long-term residents will tell you that it used to be a swamp. It used to be part of a dairy. So the water levels used to go up and down regularly. But years ago when I suppose civilisation, if you like, for want of a better word, infill area, more houses were developed, and so the lake was maintained at a certain level. And that was not only because to allow for drought, to allow for over usage of water around the onto the roads, etc. But it was to keep the lake at one level, which was better for the birds, it was better for the ducks, it was better for the bees, and it was better for our wonderful remote control boat club that uses it as well. So it was all kept at one level, and that was a system that was worked out with an agreement with the Water Corporation, because Jackadder Lake gets service from a main drain, which is colloquially called the Nookamarra drain, which comes from Girraween and it goes all the way to the ocean, of which about 1 gigalitre of water goes out to the ocean every year. So between the local governments that are involved and also the Water Corporation, there's an agreement to make sure that the water along the line is kept at a level. And unfortunately, with the hot weather, with pipes breaking, various other issues that seem to be running around, the water level in the lake got reduced a hell of a lot. But the city, along with the Water Corporation, are working on it, and I'm hoping that it would be resolved by yesterday, Monday.
Tell me exactly what it's looking like now.
Well, if you can think of the America's Cup when we had Australia 2 with a keel on it, you can't get a keel in it.
Okay. That's a pretty big, I mean, I don't know how deep it usually is. So it's pretty muddy and pretty smelly is what I'm hearing.
Yes, it is at the moment. It's unfortunately with no water, it does dry out very rapidly. But we do have weirs which have like locks, like if you can imagine what Holland was based on, and they're along the way between Kirrawee and the ocean, and they can actually stop and start the water, and that's mainly due to the Water Corporation, because the local government doesn't own the water, doesn't own the drain.
You're kind of skirting around the edges of it. This isn't the first summer where the lake's level has dropped. What's different this year?
The actual weir hasn't been put into place for whatever reason, so we're trying to get the Water Corporation to let us know why hasn't the blocks in the weir been put in to keep the water up in Jackadder Lake.
We have asked the Water Corporation for a response. Lucy Bell has just come into the studio to read that response. Hi, Lucy.
G'day, Amber. Yes, we just heard from the team at Water Corp, and I wanted to just bring you their response. They didn't have anyone available to speak to us this afternoon, unfortunately, but they do say the City of Stirling has for several decades installed and removed a series of wooden stop boards on a small weir that spans a stormwater drain adjacent to Pearson Street in Woodlands, as we've just heard Elizabeth mentioning. These stop boards have no operational function within the wider drainage network, but they do allow the city to regulate water levels in the nearby Jackadder Lake during summer. In 2019, Water Corp updated drainage infrastructure in the area to help protect homes and businesses from flooding during large storms. And as part of this work, Water Corp says in close consultation with the city, the weir was widened and attempted to be handed back to the city to continue operating those stop boards. Now, Water Corp says, Amber, that the City of Stirling has raised concerns regarding the ability of its staff to manually operate operate the new weir, and Water Corporation says it has suggested several solutions and is currently assessing potential interim options to assist the city to improve water levels in Jackadder Lake. So it looks as though we're sitting in a bit of a holding pattern, or at least that's the perspective of Water Corp, who say they are reaching out with potential solutions.
Thanks, Lucy. City of Stirling Councillor Elizabeth Ree, how do you respond to that?
Well, it seems to be mixed messages on both parts. I think that if it was definitely upgraded, the weir, but the way it was upgraded, the Water Corporation should have allowed for the changes and should have informed the city if the city was actually supposed to put the weir blocks in place, which previously was done by the Water Corporation. So
it's a bit back and forth, hey? It's a bit he said, she said, yeah?
It definitely is back and forwards, and it never ever used to be like this before they upgraded. Now, Water Corporation upgraded the drains. So Water Corporation has to be responsible for advising the city of how they're changing it, which they haven't done. And we've been waiting, as I said, we should have had a report on Monday letting us know, well, what they are going to do about it, because it's not like it happened overnight. This is over a couple of months ago when it first started, but more so a month ago when the lake really started to drop, that we've been asking the Water Corp for their views. So the city has been really working towards making sure our lake is where it should be for lots of reasons, environmentally as well as just for the local residents and all the users of the lake. And we haven't been forthcoming. The Water Corp hasn't been forthcoming with a good response. So we have to, I suppose it's going to be escalated. Our CEO, Steph Roddick, is very much involved, and I said he was on site the other day and had a look, so he knows firsthand what it is going on. So we're waiting for the Water Corporation to work with the city to make sure it doesn't get any lower. And I'm not quite sure why the weir planks can't be put in place to stop the water going forward like it normally does, because it's evidence, as I said to Lucy, if anyone goes down there, there's a big volume of water there. It's not like there's no water.
Right.
And if we're going to send 1 gigalitre of water, if the state government is allowing 1 gigalitre of water to the ocean every year through these pipes, there's something seriously wrong that they can't divert it to our lakes.
And in the interim, you have a compromised biodiversity spot in that lovely lake. Elizabeth Ree is councillor with the City of Stirling. Elizabeth, keep us apprised of how things are going. We'll check in again with you to see if you have managed to find a solution. Thanks for speaking with me on Drive today.
And thank you very much for being interested in our community. And it's really important when anybody from the community sees anything wrong that they let the city know and they let the state government know. So thank you very much, and you have a good week.
You too.